What's going on, y'all? Jimmy Macrum, Marcus Cash, SP3. Yes, we're all remote. This is the AEWrecap for May 5th, 2021 for Blood and Guts, a special of fucking Wednesday Night Dynamite. Believe it or not, I did not hate the show. That's the best way I'll put it. Quickly, what did you guys think of the show? Overall, as a 2-hour production.
If I was going live in attendance, I'm glad the only match I would have seen in person would have been Blood and Guts.
Jesus, alright. Fair enough.
I thought that the show was booked weirdly, to say the least.
That's right.
Where they place certain matches. But overall, I think that they delivered on what they promised.
Where they put certain matches. They are very tricky, I'll say that much. They should probably fire themselves. But let's get to it. The show opened with a tag team match. I actually liked the spot in this match, even though it didn't really feel whatever. Moxley and Kingston versus Nakazawa and Omega, but Omega's not here, apparently. I love how they called it out immediately. It was hilarious.
Immediately.
We've seen Kenny Omega. He's definitely here. Don't turn the channel. Kenny Omega is here. Omega attacks one of them from behind, and there's a whole schmodge. I thought the match was kind of a mess, sadly, but like intentionally so. That makes sense. I didn't love it. Post-match beat down by the Bucks and who are the other two NWO guys? Oh, the Good Brothers. Sorry, they're just here every week, but they're like not important anymore. Like Sting, or like Christian. You can have your pick.
Christian is still important, and one of my favorite. He was involved in one of my favorite segments of the night.
That they got rid of for some reason. Bad booking, but whatever. I'm gonna try to tone it down at some point. I'm really annoyed. I liked the open. What did you guys think?
While he's entertaining backstage, I don't really ever like an excuse to have Nakazawa in the ring, like ever. But it's for looking at it as furthering something for Kingston and Moxley. It was enjoyable. They got to beat up on Nakazawa a little bit. They had some funny spots. Omega is somebody you should always be watching whenever he decided to actually join in to this segment. But it was a segment. Like, this didn't feel like a match. So, this could have been a backstage beatdown or something.
Fair enough.
I thought that Nakazawa got a little bit too much offense. I like Nakazawa as Kenny Omega's lackey, and I just thought that this could be booked better. Like Omega, and you don't need to do the whole, Kenny Omega's not here, and then jumping them. You could have just had them come out, and Kenny Omega never tags in, and they just kill Nakazawa the whole match. That would have worked better for me. And then eventually Omega walks out on Nakazawa, and you can have the same finish. And then the post-match angle, I think, would have came off a little bit better as well. It just feels like I want more from the Elite at this point. I want more of their I want more promo work from them. Don Callis is great as a mouthpiece, but we need a little bit more from the guys actually in the group. And as you saw later in the night, they seem to be really good at promos in front of live crowds, because that was probably the highlight of one of the show, in my opinion, is the way they came off in a live setting in the promo work. So I just want a little bit more from the Elite. Right now, they just feel like a generic offshoot of the Bullet Club.
That's kind of perfect. Can I complain about the booking again?
Yes.
Always.
Okay. I know this might be a little too writery, but I think we should have played up Moxley and Kingston threatening Nakazawa in the ring and Omega doing nothing about it, because it pays off fantastically at the end of the night when the complete opposite happens. But you know what?
I would have enjoyed this more if the babyfaces didn't hold the champion hostage to get this match. Why would you hold something? You have them by the throat and this is the match you want.
Agreed.
There's two champions in the stable that you're feuding with. Like if they held them hostage and say we want Omega and Nakazawa next week, and if we win, the person who gets the pin gets Kenny Omega for the title, or if we win because we are a tag team now, we want the Young Bucks. This would have worked a little bit better.
Yes.
I agree. And even for this particular night, like they started with Omega's not here. Have Omega not be there a little bit longer than 45 seconds.
That would have worked too.
It's amazing. It's amazing what all these non-billionaires can come up with.
Hey, Jimmy, you better be careful before he takes us down too.
Hey, he took down Botchamania, to be fair.
Which is impressive because that's been around forever.
Wait, what?
Well, basically AEW has been filing like copyright claims to a lot of content creators who use their content in more or less fair use type of use of the content. Okay. And one of the people that they came back on was Botchamania, so Botchamania got taken down as a YouTube channel. Matthew of Botchamania is still working with AEW to get the copyright claim removed, but yeah.
Ain't happening, Chief. It took you down, you gone. You better come up with a new channel and let people know that it's you.
I love that. The baby Vince, already. I'm here for it. That's the only part I do enjoy. Like, if you're gonna be a villain, be a villain.
Absolutely.
I think that K might be something else other than Khan. Tony. Oh, anyway.
Wow, that's over the top.
Well, yeah, that's a little bit.
I like Botchamania, so that's how I'm feeling it.
I would imagine. They announced Sheeta versus Goat Baker for the pay-per-view, Double or Nothing. Not this one, by the way, not last year, which is close to when it should did it, but this one coming up.
A year late, $1 short, but
Sheeta won the title last year at Double or Nothing. And if you remember correctly, she beat Britt Baker and broke her nose to get that shot.
So I do remember.
Full circle type of thing.
Yeah, we only had to endure several months too long of a fucking Sheeta run. Jesus, she's actually.
We had to endure a Goldberg-like run from Sheeta, even though she appears just as often as like Goldberg.
Jesus.
And we had to endure Britt Baker continuously not getting the respect she deserves. It's like being featured.
How is she not getting the respect she deserves? She still was the only woman to main event Dynamite ever.
For the year. That happened, a month ago or so? Like, that happened now that they're finally ready to pull the trigger. For the past year,
we assume.
She would just go erratically.
So you you met up with the Men in Black, that's why you're not with Jimmy right now, and they totally made you forget that the focus of the whole women's division for a good 4 to 5 months when Britt Baker was injured was Britt Baker versus Big Swole. That just completely
and then when she came back, what happened? She'll wrestle this week on Dynamite, and then what? Maybe she'll be on like Dark.
No, when she came back, the Rosa feud started. Like you don't have a good memory. We've established
even with
you don't even have a history of smoking weed. So this is very troubling.
She'll be here every other week, even during the Rosa feud, every other week. Jimmy. As president of the Dr. Goat fan club,
yes, sir.
You would not attest that she was not here every week.
I love that, but nobody's there every week, though.
Exactly, no one.
Except
no one is there.
She was not there every week. That's
so
true.
That's a bad.
Maybe Moxley.
That's a bad complaint. That's nitpicky.
First of all, that's the complaint because your stars should be there every week.
I agree.
Baker should be there every week. Britt Baker should be there every week, etc. Down the line, whoever you value at that moment, they should be there weekly, episodic, and not on the show to make room for Caesar Bononi.
Here we go. Don't stop. Don't do the weekly thing. Don't. Marco Stunt. Matt Jackson. I know. Relax. We know the list.
We know the people you don't like. We will establish that like every week.
Do you do that in alphabetical order? Caesar Bononi. I'm like, oh Jesus, here we go. It's the
list coming soon. In sequential order, who I want fired the most. It's coming so I'm still working on it. I have a list for per show, and then I'm gonna combine it as a mega list. Who outworks the other?
You hate. No, I'm not gonna get you started. Speaking of which, two people who I would send home right away until they come with something better. This was Cody versus QT Marshall. I thought the match was really good.
This blew away my expectations like ridiculously.
Well, to be fair, you shouldn't have it.
I've ever seen QT Marshall.
Yes, to be fair, he's a lot stronger than I remember him being. He's like he lifted Cody up. He deadlifted him once with like no help. That shit was
German. He deadlifted him in a German.
Just fucking this way. Then he almost missed the powerbomb spot and then scooped him right the fuck back up. Go ahead, sir.
My favorite spot is the reversals of the tombstone. That was just awesome. I'd never seen that many in a row of them reversing each other. It was like 4 in a row reversals of the tombstone.
It was very impressive. Too bad it didn't finish the night. The match, rather. Because we've got to kick out of that somehow. And then we've got to kick out of the crossroads somehow. Because we got to keep QT over? Question mark? And then he taps out to the figure 4. He's such a badass. Nothing to hold him down except a 45-year-old wrestling hold.
Well, to be fair,
I said 45 is older than that.
This has been clearly established
Okay.
ever since the factory was created. This factory is not made for QT.
It is not.
Factory is made for everyone but QT, it seems.
No, QT is third on the list. What's the other guys? Who's Billy's boyfriend's name?
Oh yeah,
Aaron solo on the totem pole. He doesn't even matter. He had a screenshot all the time.
Poor
That's
bastard.
a long ass name.
It is. Indeed. Whenever I see Cody, let me correct myself. Whenever I see QT, he feels like an extra arm of Cody. Like I might as well be watching Cody. That's the only reason this guy's getting this kind of TV time. It just is what it is. I'm sorry. I gotta be honest. I love Gogo's look. I love the laying of the flag on fucking Cody. I love the finish. As long as we don't fucking have the referee stop it, which is ridiculous. I'm looking forward to Gogo versus Cody, which I assume is Cody's announcement of some kind, right?
Yeah, but I think the random use of the Union Jack flag is leading to Cody doing another old school match, and we get a fucking flag match.
Oh yeah, I hadn't considered that. But yes, 100,000% that is what is happening. Flags on a pole or whatever.
How did I not think about this? Oh no, the American Nightmare. How did I not think about this?
Nightmare versus the guy from the UK.
Oh my god.
The governor of the union.
Jesus, that just brought me down.
I really like the Cody and QT. I think that this match wouldn't have looked out of place as a main event of a Dynamite if they really built up this factory family type of storyline, but it seems very mid-card right now. But I think this was the best match Cody's had in months, really.
I can't think of another way he's had, so I guess I'll take your word for it. It sounds about right.
Yeah, their best matches for either one in a while. I'd agree.
Oh, it's QT's best match ever. In Ring of Honor and in AEW.
Jesus. How does he keep getting work? Oh, right. Never mind.
I wonder how that works. But yeah, QT never looked better. Best Cody looked in a while. But this, not even mid-card. Like, this feels like the feud that's outside the mid-card title. And, like, we're trying to establish a reason for either one of these guys to go for a mid-card title kind of a match. Like, the tombstone spot thing was the opposite feeling for me. It was like, oh my god, and another reversal, and another. Like, it's impressive, yes, but it's such a Cody thing to just draw out and not be edited and just continue just going extra for no reason. And then the tombstone power driver doesn't end the match. His crossroads doesn't end the match. And admittedly, I didn't think about this until you mentioned the flag match potential that's probably likely happening now. The reason he doesn't win with his 2000s, 2010s, 2020 finishers is because he needed to finish the match with a 1980s finisher for a 1980s match.
Another problem I have with this, I'm not sure, is this fair? I'm going to give Tony kind of a break. Can we blame all Cody's booking on Cody?
Yeah, I mean, he does. He is in control of what he wants to do on the show.
Wouldn't it be really cool?
He's their Hogan, I think.
That's strong. That's strong.
Yeah,
but I get your point.
Because I also will give Cody credit because of the rivalry that has been built up. I thought it would have been stupid for him to do one of his long, drawn-out entrances, and he just kind of speed walked directly to the ring and started fighting. So I was like, this is actually a change of pace. Thank you, Cody. Thank you.
It's like he learned his mistakes. Like that. When was the fucking Cody MJF match? I bring this up every time I think about it.
Last year, when he came out with a fucking band and like 1,800 people.
That wasn't my problem with it. This is the blood feud. He did a moonsault off the top of the steel cage. They fucking took 10 straps on the back. He was to kill this cocksucker, and we start with a collar and elbow tie. Are you fucking serious? But anyway, wouldn't it have been better if we didn't just fucking have QT get his ass beat last week? Like, isn't that the end of the feud? You won. It's over. Let's move on.
On the top of a tour bus.
For no reason.
Okay, fair enough. We're on the same page when it comes to that fucking nonsense.
Yes.
And how does Aubrey not referee this match? She was the one counting the tap out at the top of the bus.
Well, just wanted to make sure no one fell. She's like the mother of AEW.
Yes, yeah. That's a good way. That's a good way to put it. My least favorite group in wrestling, Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page had a.
Wait, what?
Promo.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Yes.
What?
Oh.
It's random.
I know it's random, right? Huh.
It's very random, but I've been enjoying it so far.
To be fair, this is before the promo.
Okay.
I just still thought, I'm sick of these two. They're not impressive looking. No offense.
To be fair.
We've already seen that the fucking Khan has got at least the common decency or the common sense to see Scorpio Sky talk and then change his gimmick every time he talks because none of this shit is working. And then he saw one Ethan Page match and went, that don't work either. So we'll put them together. I enjoyed both of their promos.
To be fair, the one Ethan Page match that he had was when they had the fucked up audio from the NBA game.
Oh, right. You know what? I haven't think about that.
I don't think that was a coincidence.
TNT enjoyed that shit.
Standards and practices weren't anything else.
That's hilarious.
Anything else.
I don't know why you put Page with Sky and then have Sky start the promo. That seemed like an odd choice. But it did work.
Yeah.
It did work.
It made sense because of what happened.
Yeah, that's the only reason that
it seems like they are firmly establishing that Scorpio's beef is with Sting and Page's is a long-term thing with Darby.
Yes, and I will say Page's bringing up of the history between him and Darby. Gotta be honest, out of everything he's done, that's the thing that's got him the most over to me. It's the thing that got this feud over at all. And I now want to see this match. I feel like we kind of should have started here, no?
Yeah. They should have probably, like, they shouldn't have even had him interfere in the match last week with Darby at 10. Just do the post-match angle and then give us this. They could have done weeks of them in the crowd while Darby is doing his matches as, like, teases. And then we have the big post-match angle where they jumped him last week, and then we have this promo. I think that we would all be invested even before this promo. But this promo definitely... This was one of the highlights of the night. Just the whole angle, they both cut great promos, and then Darby is just a lunatic. It
was fantastic.
Out of nowhere.
He looked like a maniac. I was like, holy shit, I forgot. This is why I like Darby. Totally forgot. Go for it. What'd you think?
Yeah. I had the same thought. I was like, how's Ethan not running this promo? Whatever. I guess it makes sense for Darby to attack Ethan specifically. Especially after the explanation, which, holy shit, what did I miss on the indie scene? He's covered, I don't even know if it's real or not. He's covered his hands on his head, and that's why he's got the face paint. And he hurt him some other way, I forgot how he mentioned. And I'm like, that's amazing. But then also, Dummy Khan, if you're bringing in all ego Ethan Page, and he's got this backstory with the Darby Allin, understandably, maybe that's not the initial plan to pair them up right away. But... why are we doing the tag team thing with Scorpio Sky then? He's got a built-in TNT title feud.
Because this is how they draw out feuds. Because what was it? Brian Cage comes in May of last year, and he doesn't have his first singles match with Darby until January of this year. It's because they do this type of world building and stable type of thing. So I get where they're going, where you can get a double or nothing tag team match of Darby and Sting versus Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky, and then you can pop a big rating a couple of weeks later and do Ethan Page and Darby, and that could continue on until probably All Out.
See, I would do the reverse though, because I feel like that's a potentially hot angle where he's got this blood feud thing with this guy. He comes in, maybe Darby comes out ahead of it, right? That leads to the Scorpio Sky pairing. That's a tag team match now that transitioned into the Scorpio Sky trying to get another shot at Darby.
No, I like it the tag team match first because they've already established Sting and Darby as this tag team match. In my view, I think Page and Sky should win that tag team match because it gains them a lot of heat.
Agreed.
They can get the pin on Darby because they've already established with Ethan Page tossing him down a flight of stairs, which was the bump of the night. And considering we had bloody guts later on in the night, that says a lot. But it was definitely the bump of the night, and the fact that Darby takes bumps like this is just why he's a star and why he's probably the biggest homegrown star in AEW right now, because he just is willing to sacrifice his body for our entertainment, and that's why people are invested in it.
He had the two bumps of the nights, to be fair. The staircase thing, but he coffin dropped off of some random.
Yes. And he's the fastest climber of ladders in professional wrestling history.
Yes.
That is the fastest I've ever seen anyone climb a ladder in wrestling.
He just jumped up this thing. He goes concrete down there. Screw it. And just jumped backwards.
Fuck it.
What?
That was dope. I gotta be honest. I wouldn't mind if this angle is kind of leading to Darby going on. I won't say a losing streak, but eventually this has got to catch up with you. They kind of said that last week. All these tablet fans were going to catch up to him. Now he's getting his ass beat. He's got Miro next week, which is I'm here for it. And then
I'm here for it.
That
was like the cherry on top, because this whole segment just came out of nowhere, and like I said, it was one of the highlights of the night. And then for later on, for them to be like, Miro is getting the next shot, it's like exactly what we wanted. They gave Darby a fucking out for why he's gonna lose. Miro wins. You could transition the TNT title to Miro doing something at Double or Nothing, and now Darby and Sting are free without anything holding them back or anybody being like, oh, why Darby's not defending the title at the pay-per-view? They can feud with Page and Sky, and now Darby has a real reason to focus on them because they would have cost him the TNT championship a week after he set the record for defenses.
Yes, and I see.
And I would love Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky going, you know what, we could wait a little bit longer in a TNT title shot. Like, Miro. Like, no, we wanted the little guy. We'll hold off. We're going to do this tag team match thing against him and the old guy. And he can figure something else out instead.
That'd be fantastic. I'm here for it. Up next, Colt Baker had a match with some 12-year-old. That shit was uncomfortable. As soon as she popped up, I said, what the fuck? How old is
really
she?
Did.
I did. Cash informed me that she's 19, apparently. Okay.
Yes. According to her Instagram. Yeah.
Absolutely. You weren't stalking.
No, to be fair, and not to give any plugs, so I won't name them specifically, but there is an Instagram page that highlights specifically the enhancement talents featured on Dark and Dark Elevation.
Yeah, you can advertise them. That's fine.
No, they're not affiliated, so no.
Oh. Shit, you can't give them the plug?
They don't pay me, so no, they'll get you.
And to be fair, it would have made sense for them to plug me because I'm not enhancement talent, so.
Fair enough. This was fine. It's fine for a squash match. They talked about the title match a little bit, I guess. I probably could have done with a Go Baker segment. With fucking, or her, what the fuck's happening? What happened to her talk show?
The waiting room. We could have had a waiting room with Sheeta.
We could have had a waiting room with this dummy, and she could have mocked her, and fucking then Sheeta could have made the save or some shit.
Yeah. They don't even need people. It could just be her and Reba and Tony, and just that be a thing, and just her talking down everybody. Like, all we need is Dr. Baker. That's the remedy.
Ugh. Shut up. What was that? Shut up. Did you want to snap your fingers after you said it? All we need is Dr. Baker. That's the remedy. She got the medicine for you. all you need is the way
Ring.
Jesus. So yeah, that was fine. You guys have any comments on it? Or are we done shitting on Tony Khan's booking of this?
I mean, sorry, Julia Hart. Congratulations on being on TV for 45 seconds.
Hey,
but,
that's something.
It's Britt Baker on TV, so it's a win by default. But just another thing on the show for me. I'm just like, another in-ring thing for me on this show. Just like,
I think they wanted to give her a victory on Dynamite. She's been picking up a lot of... The last time we saw her in a match on Dynamite, she lost to Rosa. So it didn't make that much sense that she's the number one contender for the Women's Championship. So give her a win here. Firmly establish that she is the next contender and she's got momentum going into Double or Nothing.
But she's been picking up so many wins on these other two shows that they really want people to watch for whatever reason. So,
hey, we've come a long, we've come a long way. At least they tell us the results of Elevation and Dark in the little lower third. At least there's that.
Yes, what you call it? Your girl, she's losing a lot of matches on there. I saw. I think 2. The mime. What's her name?
Shitanami?
Oh, I know that's not it.
Tsunami?
Yeah, sure. Rio.
Mitsushitty?
Jesus, we got it. You didn't like the match.
You were good with the first one. That was just lame. Like, but I'd rather that than the borderline racism. So, but we can move on.
Jesus.
Anyway, Mrs. Mine, to Tony Khan's credit, he gets to be Tony again. He saw the other Rio and he went, nah, baby. He went, she can lose all the matches now. She stays.
We got it. I'm with you. There was a tag team match. Number one contendership match. Varsity Blondes, Jurassic Express, SCU, and the Acclaimed. Now,
the best Max Caster rap ever.
Wow.
Ever.
Wow.
Tony Khan said it himself. He said it was the best yet.
See that? That's why I probably didn't like it, because I have complete opposite taste of Tony Khan.
I'm sorry. The Brian Pillman line on the week of the Brian Pillman Dark Side of the Ring was the best thing ever.
I prefer the Cuomo line. Which one's that from? Pay-per-view?
I kind of like the Cuomo line a little bit better, but from start to finish, this might have been the best Max Caster performance, because typically Max Caster has a great line and then like a fall off typically right after, before maybe he'll pick it up at the end. But this one, it was just fire, just going straight across, just fire.
Rap genius to be analyzing fucking bars. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, now he's analyzing.
He loves his rap so much.
Remember, his favorite movie of all time is Malibu's Most Wanted. So
which I feel is kind of. What's definitely seen it. He's definitely seen it. Cash has definitely seen that movie. There's no doubt he's seen it.
Oh, absolutely.
And I gotta be honest, I know a lot of people compare this to John Cena. This would have been what John Cena was if Bo Buchanan had any personality at all. Because Bowens is hilarious to me. I cannot explain how much more fun he makes those fucking raps to me. Like, he's so excited to hear it, he's yelling, and it's like,
he's got so much energy. Like, I love Bowens. Bowens is awesome. I've actually met him in real life. He worked for Battle Club Pro, which Triple H has sponsored. He's awesome.
Nice. Yeah, he's fucking fantastic.
He's a fan. I want to say it's even for storyline purposes at least, that it's the hype of that rap that gets him so excited to yell into the microphone his 2 lines.
Yeah. The match. Matter of fact, I probably could numbers out of it altogether. But if I had to have it for a number 10 spot, give me SCU versus pick one of the 3. They claimed, I guess, because I want to hear the rap.
Yeah,
so. Just do the match. The 4-way, it was just kind of all over the place. They're trying to like do it the tension, and all this can go away. Just make SCU. We know SCU was winning. They just had a fucking promo with the fucking Bucks last week. What are we doing?
And it seems to be somewhat of a theme the last 2 weeks of AEW kind of telegraphing who's going to win matches. Like, we will see later on in the night another instance of this. But, yeah, I agree with you. I didn't necessarily need this after you already established that SCU was obviously going to win here. And it seemed kind of early for, like, when they announced this last week. I was like, well, it seems kind of early for them to get the shot. I would think that this match would set up the double or nothing shot. But we got the post-match angle earlier on. I would say the best thing about that post-match angle for the opener was that it established that the Young Bucks are feuding with Moxley and Kingston.
Yes.
So it made sense why SCU is getting the shot next week.
Real quick, I gotta give Matt Jackson credit. I know it's out of nowhere. I didn't mention it. Him hitting people with his shoe, his fucking slipper, is hilarious. I'm sorry, it just is. That's it.
He's getting across very well clothing to get heat. Like his clothes are directly to make people hate him more, and it's working.
Yes.
It is. That shower curtain ensemble is. But yeah, I agree. I'm very happy that this title shot is going to happen next week, so we can finally break up SCU, because I'm going to give Tony Khan credit, since you want to give Matt Jackson credit. I'll give Tony Khan credit, just to needle each other here.
Hilarious.
He also had the wherewithal to see SCU versus Young Bucks for his pay-per-view and go, nah, no.
We've already seen it.
It's hilarious.
Yeah, we've seen it plenty of times.
Listen, I loved the addiction, okay? I enjoyed the prophecy. I accepted SCU at the beginning, mostly because of that hilarious, worst time I've ever been in line, more than anything else. Face SCU, oh God. Face SCU without the guy I want to see in the ring, worse. I appreciate everything Daniels has done for his career in my entertainment. I've also enjoyed what was once the future, or the prophecy, whatever his nickname was, Frankie Kazarian. But I don't want to see either one of these two guys in the ring now. Like, they could be coaches, they could be like, the Ric Flair of Evolution role, granted nowhere near to that execution, hopefully. But like that kind of mentorship in a group. But like, I don't want to see you guys singles, tags, trios, none of it. Just go away.
God damn.
Tag teams. You have a bajillion tag teams in the AEW. Too many, maybe.
Yes.
Some that shouldn't be together. Jungle Boy. But just like focus on these other people that our younger demographic audience wants to see. SCU should be on the other company with the 50-year-old audience.
Oh, Jesus.
Firstly, I just want to let you know the prophecy was Christopher Daniels' stable in Ring of Honor. It was never him and Frankie Kazarian. Just want to make that clear. They've been known as the Addiction in Ring of Honor. They've been known as Bad Influence in TNA. And they became SCU when Scorpio Sky joined Ring of Honor. And they were very effective as baby faces with Scorpio Sky. It just, Daniels and Kazarian on their own just doesn't work as baby faces. So I think that next week the Young Bucks win and Frankie Kazarian turns heel and leaves Christopher Daniels out to pasture.
You know what?
Well, wait. Does that mean we're going to have a Kazarian Daniels feud out of this?
I would like a match, because we've never really seen them have a match, and they've been partners for well over 10 years. So I would love to get a match, maybe on TV match, not necessarily a pay-per-view match, but a TV match to firmly establish and cement Kazarian as a heel would be nice.
You know what? And then I want to, and I want some younger guy to fucking step up and defend Daniels after he loses that fucking match.
Yeah.
Maybe Jungle Boy. That might be perfect, Jungle Boy, actually.
He would be. He would be very perfect for that spot.
Ideally, I'd like Cass to jump Daniels and Daniels just goes away. But if you got to get a match on TV,
that's hilarious. Right. I'm not sure why that's funny. It just is. He jumps him and then he goes away. What, he shank him in the shower?
Hopefully. I mean, that should put you out of commission unless you're John Cena who comes back in 2 weeks. But
absolutely. No scar. Just kicking ass.
Zeus was not good with his aim, obviously.
Clearly. We kind of tapped on
this. You did miss one of my highlights of the night.
What?
Technique with Taz, talking about the footwork and the lack of velocity that Christian Cage had since his return to the ring. I love when he uses the technique with Taz to just heal whoever he's shooting with.
It's fantastic. It worked so much for me because it gives him enough props where you know this guy's talented, but Taz the heel, so this is about to be awesome. Just shout out over it.
Kenny Omega, Britt Baker, Techniques by Taz is another weekly feature that we need, and it could be used to get anybody over. It doesn't need to just be the feud that he's in with Christian now, right? If there's Powerhouse Hobbs versus Joey Jobber number 3, like, typically those guys are on Dark, usually not always, but typically they're on Dark before they're on Dynamite. Maybe show the 2 moves or whatever he did, or whatever, or just highlight your own guys if there's not enough moves, and that could just be used to get over these people that I know I'm going to see on my television again in the future. And then when they're for major feuds, exactly like this. Here's Christian, he's an all-time great, but he fucked up here, he didn't do this right, his technique is sloppy, he's old, so he didn't have the power to, like, turn half around, whatever. Like, this is genius. Like, this should be a weekly fixture. You've got 3-4 guys in your stable, you have more than enough ways to make this happen, and when you don't, you can use it to cut down your other announcers.
Right? It's your best take in a while, sir. I completely agree.
Yeah, it is.
Complete fucking agreement. We talked about Miro's promo earlier. I really like the promo. We talked about him having it. I love the actual promo. His slight exaggeration of his already broken English is fucking fantastic. I cannot explain how much it works for something. I love that promo. What'd you guys think?
We agreed. It was her favorite promo.
I just love everything Miro's been doing. Ever since Arcade Anarchy, just his small little, like, 30-second promos has been one of my favorite parts of Dynamite, and then this right here was just perfect because, like I said, it was the cherry on top of the angle that we saw with Paige, Sky, and Darby.
Indeed.
Can we just...
Okay.
I want to point out, though, I want to put out there that he muscled TK into this contract because he waited until right after Darby was thrown down a flight of stairs, and all of a sudden, the guys that Darby does not have an issue with, Miro instead has a signed already contract for next week after that assault for a title shot. Like, I want to see like a GTV thing or just even Excalibur explaining it in his wordy ways. Miro confronted and accosted and threatened bodily harm on Tony Khan to get that contract under duress.
Read it. Sign it. Alright, so, here comes, it's going to be short to get to the first part of this. Tony Schiavone comes out, they have a big announcement about who the number 1 contender is going to be. Apparently the top 2 contenders are Pac and Orange Cassidy, according to the rankings. I went, ugh. Cash goes, what? I said, Pac and Orange Cassidy. He goes, no, I need to hear that back. Make sure I didn't miss it. He rewinds it, and I gotta hear this horseshit again. Pac and Orange Cassidy.
Hey, I need to rewind it because Kenny Omega had the exact same reaction as Cassidy.
I couldn't wait until Kenny Omega's reaction. I went, what?
He's like, Pac has beaten me before. Pac, I've done 30-minute Iron Man. Let's just skip this shit. Like, what?
I think that kind of, but anyway, that's so Omega. I liked Omega's promo once, first of all, before fucking Orange Cassidy came out. Once Orange Cassidy came out, I liked it a little more, quite frankly. I thought it's the most focused he's been in a fucking long while. Because he typically can go all over the fucking place when it's not Callis talking. I thought it was fine. I think it kind of telegraphs an Orange Cassidy win. I'm a little concerned by it, but what do you want from me? What do you guys think?
I enjoyed this. I felt like it was a little too long.
A little long.
But I do enjoy Pac and Orange Cassidy being the number 1 contendership. I just wish they didn't telegraph who was going to win because I feel like these are two legitimate contenders because the Orange Cassidy being in this match and possibly winning, it seems, it validates the whole Jericho feud and says that he actually got elevated in it, even though that was kind of like months ago. And the fact that this feud between Death Triangle and Best Friends is not just a tag team feud, it's not just a trios feud, it's actually spawned out into the world title feud. I think that it says a lot for the world building that AEW does, that a lot of times, yeah, it does feel like a lot of things is going on, but it always seems to lead to something big. And the fact that this whole feud that started last year at Revolution, it's finally like culminating here. I think that says a lot for the amount of stars that they've actually built in AEW. Where I said this last week after Orange Cassidy beat Pentagon. I was like, Orange Cassidy could be in line for an AEW world title shot, because I just put everything together. I was like, I told you guys weeks ago that Hangman Page looked like he was going to get the shot. Then he takes the loss to Brian Cage, which was a great decision because it felt too early to go to Page and Omega. And then Cassidy, they kept emphasizing he was number 2, and then he gets this big win on Pentagon, who's been picking up wins on Trent and others over the last couple of weeks. Orange Cassidy gets this win, and then if he beats Pac next week, he's firmly established and has momentum going into Double or Nothing, which I don't necessarily feel like it needs like a big name against Omega. Double or Nothing is Double or Nothing. It's going to be in front of the largest capacity crowd AEW has had in well over a year, with over 5,000 fans there who are going to be hella into Orange Cassidy, as we saw with the fans at Blood and Guts, were heavy into Orange Cassidy without him having to say a word. So it's going to be the vibes of the old AEW before this whole pandemic happened, which means that Orange Cassidy will be firmly established as the babyface against the top heel in the business in Kenny, or the top heel in AEW in Kenny Omega. This just works for me.
I'm going to preface this with, in my opinion.
Okay.
I'm going to try to work through this, and I want to work through this here.
Floor is yours.
First off, now.
Well said.
She needs to be nowhere near. It's nowhere within he can smell the AEW World title right now. I gave TK credit for seeing what resulted from that Jericho feud and going, he's just not it. He's a nice character. He's a nice entertainment thing to throw out there every so often sporadically. But he's not a world champion, which is what the world title contenders should be. They should be potential world champions. Orange Cassidy ain't it. And I like Orange Cassidy. He ain't it, though. It's like him being 1 or 2 or anything is baffling to me, especially considering going into Double or Nothing, because yes, it is going to be the largest capacity crowd they've had for a long time, and shouldn't you have a big time match? Like, this will be either the WrestleMania or like the Royal Rumble or SummerSlam, depending on what you do as number 2. This should be a big deal world title match, not fucking Omega versus like Santino. Like, this is not.
Wow. If this was a live stream, I would remove you right now, because that is just the worst take you've Orange Cassidy is a better wrestler. He's proven to be a better draw in ratings and merchandise. And like I said, who the hell was left? You don't. Obviously, fans rejected Christian Cage being that contender by the reaction that he got by just picking up the title. Hangman Page is too early. Pac, I can't say Pac is a babyface. Like, Pac would be great, but he hasn't been very established as a babyface. You need a very firmly established babyface to further the heel character as Kenny Omega, and with a full capacity crowd, that babyface is Orange Cassidy.
You could have, granted, maybe assumingly he didn't pick up the title in the first place, use these months, or even if he did.
No. Don't give me a hypothetical. Give me another option besides Orange Cassidy. That is a babyface that would be better. Don't give me a hypothetical, because you could say, oh, if you did this months ago, blah, 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 blah. That's hypothetical. That didn't happen. Who could they
mean, and Trent is a better option.
No, he's not. He's not. He's not a bigger babyface than Orange Cassidy. He's not been proven as a better draw than Orange Cassidy.
But he's not a bigger comedy character than Orange Cassidy.
What does that mean? He's not as popular as Orange Cassidy. It's just a fact.
He's not as funny. He's a better
wrestler, but he's just not as over. And he's never been as over as Orange Cassidy. Period.
So you just think Orange Cassidy's... You think Cassidy's a joke, and you think he's the only option? Am I getting that correct?
I'm not to go full like Kentucky guy, right? But yeah, he's a joke. I enjoy him, but I enjoy him when he shows up once a month, once every 3 weeks. Like to see him every week it's the same thing. It's the same match. It's the same gimmick. It's the same shtick. Nothing is new. It's the law of...
He did not have the same match with John Silver that he had with Pentagon last week. He doesn't have the same match. He's actually hands in his pocket. He's actually done a front drop. He did not. He actually just put his hands in his pocket for the first second of the match with John Silver and never did it again. He didn't have the same type of matches with Chris Jericho because they went away from the hands in the pocket with all the other matches after the first one. He doesn't have the same match. That's false.
He didn't do it again, but his hands were fucking with his patent front drop kick.
What wrestler doesn't repeat spots in matches? That's a better question.
I did not think he would stop here.
The same 2 spots. Same 2 spots.
Yes, every single wrestler does the same spots. Jimmy, you're the third party here. What wrestler doesn't do the same 2 spots in every?
But only has 2 spots.
No, he doesn't only. This is where you go when you don't like something and you go inside personally and you lie.
But this is what you do when you like somebody and you go way over the top and
Jimmy, I'm asking you as a third party here. Have I said anything that's over the top? I made sense of the decision. I'm not saying it's the best decision. I didn't think it was the best decision. I told you guys weeks ago, Hangman Page was the best decision because he was getting momentum. It was a little too early to go to the match, so I understand why. I am logically looking at the situation while you are going by emotion. Do not try to point the finger and say I'm like you, because I'm not. I'm thinking of this logically, and I'm making sense of what the decision they made while you're just bothered by it and not coming up with a better solution.
Because he's not entertaining in the ring. He's funny. He's entertaining in the ring.
Besides you, which we have
just laugh.
Yeah, firmly established, you are not the audience for AEW. You like Jim Cornette, so you're obviously
I like shit that makes sense. Yes, I want shit that makes sense. And
you like
the number one contender to my world championship is the guy I chuckle and snicker at.
You don't find him entertaining. You just said. So which one is it? Do you find him? Or you chuckle?
I said in the ring. He's a good character.
Santino
2 is a good character.
Sorry,
Santino 2 is not a world champion.
Jesus.
He's not. He needs to be backstage doing funny shit. That's it. He should be somebody's like the best friend's fucking third friend. They're comedic relief. This is what he is. Like the guy, don't want to be fired. He can stick around forever, but he's not a world champion contender. This is why we shouldn't have weekly rankings that list people that pick up wins against Joe Schmo, because then we end up in a situation like this. We have Orange Cassidy at double or nothing, probably getting a world title shot. This is ridiculous. And to answer your question, anybody else?
I would
cheat to my question, so thank you.
Jesus.
At least you finally admitted it. You don't have
Archer.
It's not a baby.
Archer.
And Omega beat him. And Omega's already beat him.
I would.
Go ahead, let Jimmy talk. Like, why do you keep talking? Let Jimmy talk.
I'm gonna. I forgot what I was gonna say. Okay, so we don't agree on Pac and Orange Cassidy. That's clear. You guys should have your own show. I said this before. Did I say it to y'all before, or did I just cue in my head?
Maybe.
I feel like I said it a lot.
We get nothing done.
Yeah, we're not in agreement on Pac and Orange Cassidy. Oh, yeah. I said I don't want to get involved in this, so I'm gonna move.
I already do one show where I don't agree with much of what my co-host says, and that's called True Hill Heat with Top Guy JJ. So I already know with that, so I don't need to deal with that.
Me and JJ need to show.
Except JJ is more logical than Cash. He actually deals with his brain and not his emotions. But go ahead.
Me and JJ need to show them. That's what it is.
That's what I'm gonna say. Well, I found myself in the beginning very much on, not of this argument, I'm talking about as it was going on. I found myself on Cash's side, like, this Orange Cassidy shit makes no sense to me. Pick somebody else. Once I heard the crowd lose their shit, and then you're like, there's somebody booing. Yeah, it's one guy, it's you and him, and that's the end of it. I was like, alright, fine, you've got to do Orange. Oh, that's what I'm gonna say. Now I remember, thank you. That's my concern. I'm concerned for the match, because much like Moxley, Kenny Omega could get lost in the other guy's style. And I don't really want to know what a comedy match between Kenny Omega and Orange Cassidy looks like. And that part concerns me. I'm hoping Omega brings Orange Cassidy to his side, like Cassidy and Pac had that match, whenever that was. I really like that match.
Revolution match.
Yeah, I like that match. I like that match a lot. From 3.5, something like that. I'm hoping this is closer to that than Omega and Nakazawa doing ridiculous horse shit they did a year ago with the oil and shit. That is my concern.
Considering Omega's personality, though, and Pac's personality, do you not expect this to be more of, as Jimmy put it, a comedy match?
I've seen Omega be able to have the balance of, yes, I'm going against a guy who focuses more on comedy, but this guy can actually wrestle, and we've seen that against Pac. We've seen that a couple of times with Orange Cassidy. That's why it's disrespectful to compare him to Santino Morella. I've never seen a good Santino Morella match ever in my life.
What about when he was what's-his-face?
What?
What about when he was what's-his-face? He was in OVW. What was his name? Santino's name.
What was his name in OVW?
Moresco or something?
Yeah, something just badass motherfucker.
Watch OVW.
Oh, okay.
That's like that. I'm gonna give you the Ethan Page line. We're gonna talk about matches that no one's ever seen.
But to be fair, going on matches people haven't seen, if Omega's able to get a decent match out of a comedy guy who can wrestle, then shouldn't we get one? Instead of Orange Cassidy?
Oh, that's over the top.
Orange Cassidy can wrestle. The only person who seems to not realize that or not acknowledge that is you. And we firmly established, once you feel something, you never go away from it. There's nothing that anybody can say to make you feel otherwise, which is cruel. I guess it's a cool trait, I guess, but not really good for a wrestling analysis, though. Let's talk about Blood and Guts.
You like the Pac match?
Huh?
You like the Pac match?
I will go back, and he gave the Pac match higher rating than all of us did, but continue on, Jimmy.
I did. I enjoyed that match. Pac was amazing.
Oh, Jesus. Don't do that. Don't do that, Skip Bayless. Don't do that, Skip.
Orange Cassidy was the star of that match. Continue. I actually rewatched the Revolution review, so I can contradict him with stuff that he actually said. Jimmy, go ahead.
It was.
Let's talk
about the same match ever since.
Can we talk about the Blood and Death match? Can we talk about the Blood and Death match without Cash still crying that no one agrees with him? Can we go ahead, Jimmy?
Okay, so then there's Blood and Guts.
Go ahead, Jimmy. Lead the show.
There's Blood and Guts. Blood and Guts. Before you guys said what you thought, I gotta get all this off my chest.
Go ahead.
This is my problem with AEW. And one person in particular, because I can't blame Cody Rhodes because he's not in this match. This was clearly a one-match show, which I don't have a problem with. Matter of fact, I really enjoyed the match. But why was the... You know what? I'll put it this way. Dak starts the match for his team. Right?
Yeah.
I think it was Excalibur said that Blanchard had him start because he has the best gas tank. To me, this is fucking fantastic. I'm into this shit, but it's treated like real wrestling. A real sport. Couldn't we have had this brought up earlier in the show? Couldn't we have had, I don't know, the Pinnacle discuss the strategy early in the show, and then Inner Circle discuss the strategy, or a video package, or a promo? Why did we do nothing to get to where we need to go? I hate that. I hate that.
I think that was the original plan, and then people kind of were against the one-match show, and that's why they chose to do these matches beforehand.
Oh, no, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about we cut. I love Go Baker. Let's cut the Go Baker match. Let's cut that tag team match in half. Let's do all this stuff so we can put in 3-4 segments to build up the main event. What are we doing here? It's just wrestling 101.
Yeah, you could cut Scorpio Sky talking and just have Ethan Page talking.
I like Scorpio Sky.
And then Ethan Page gets attacked by Darby. Like, you can cut that in half too. Like, there's plenty of spots where you can get time for a couple segments like that, Jimmy. But that's even not the most egregious thing about the match. That didn't include the ending.
Oh, yeah, I'll get...
How do we not run through all the commercials we need to before this match starts?
Oh my God, really?
This is going to be presented without commercial interruption, or at the very least, time it well, where your big monster Wardlow's not coming in during a commercial and having to stand on 4-on-1.
I agree, I love that spot.
Commercial.
I love that spot.
I agree that commercial was horrible, but I'm not going to complain about commercials because that's what I expected. Like, if you set your expectation wrong, that's kind of on you because they never said it was going to be no commercial interruptions.
During Wardlow's entrance and
No, I said, did you listen to what I said?
I'll say this. I enjoyed the match. I enjoyed the match quite a bit. I thought Sammy was going a little too hard in the beginning, and it bit him in the ass, quite frankly, when he busted his ass in a spot. But for the most part, I thought it was perfectly done. The Wardlow spot bothered me a lot. And immediately. It wasn't like happenstance. Like, it bothered me. I love the blood. I feel like it was over the top maybe, a little bit. But enough to where it fit the context of the match. I get why we did it. I loved MJF in the match. I loved them going up to the top of the cage. I loved the finish of the match. I think you can say the Jericho spot. Let's just talk about the match. I loved it. Up to that point, I love the finish. I love the idea of they love Chris Jericho. These baby faces. They're not gonna have this 50-year-old man get himself killed. We quit. Fuck it. We surrender. Fine. That's enough. I thought everybody came out looking like a star. Warlock could have came out looking like an even bigger star. He didn't do murder. No, let me get into it. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that commercial was badly timed.
MJF looked as fantastic as he always does. What did you guys think?
The match itself was fine. I enjoyed it. There was... I don't know how much rehearsing gets done. Right, but there were some things that, like, they were cool, but maybe not really executionable. Like the springboarding doomsday clothesline Sammy was trying to do, where he tripped up. Like, I don't know if he had like one run through in practice that went well, but like that didn't seem like a good idea in the first place when he tried to do it. A lot of it was just messy with like the turnbuckle that got taken off the ring and the fork randomly and things like that. You know, I would have timed the show better, maybe alter the entrances. Like maybe we could have missed Cash Wheeler's entrance because of a commercial instead of Wardlow's, right? So not a matter of my expectations, which is what I was trying to say 45 minutes ago, but more so the execution of the way things ran. Yeah, I liked it. I liked the camera up angle at MJF threatening to murder Chris Jericho if they didn't quit. And then Sammy, specifically, being the one who quits because Sammy's the least less rocky out of the group, right? With everybody else. Sammy's the one that disappeared for a while. So I like that it was him throwing in the towel. It's just the ending, I think we could have went aerial cam for instead of that close-up. Considering we had two different colored things on the stage we're throwing Jericho onto.
What did you think of the match?
Aside from the match, I think the match was enjoyable. It was definitely match of the night, but that's, not hard. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the way it was structured with the 5-2-2-2-2-2. It's just, I don't know, it felt a little messy at some parts in between.
Fair enough. What did you think?
would say my least favorite parts, I thought a lot of the unprotected chair shots were unnecessary. Yes, this is a brutal, barbaric war type of match, but the stuff that we know about unprotected chair shots kind of took me out of it. Especially the Sammy to Wardlow one was just nasty. I would say the commercial during Wardlow's entrance, because it was such a big moment of the matchup, that was just a badly timed commercial. It comes down to production, and as we'll talk about with the ending, the production really let this down in a lot of different moments. But as far as what I enjoyed about the match, I thought the match was great. It felt more like War Games than what we've seen from NXT over the last 4 years. It actually felt like a war. It actually felt like two established teams going at it, and it felt necessary for us to get to this point because of everything that we've seen and everything that all the individuals have said in preview into this. So I very much enjoyed all of the action. I thought that Sammy Guevara looked like an absolute star. He came in there and looked like he's a future top babyface for the promotion. It was really the MVP and the glue of this matchup. I think Dax and Cash went out there and really flourished in this type of old school type of matchup. Just Cash's bloody face was just awesome. Yes. And it's a similar theory with MJF. And I like how really the person who looked like the most of the star for the Pinnacle was Wardlow. So it feels like both coming out of this match, you see that the future star for the Pinnacle is Wardlow. MJF is the star right now, but the future is Wardlow. And you see that the future star of Inner Circle is Sammy Guevara. I also think that Santana and Ortiz came off very well. I love the visual aesthetics of this match, even before the bell rang, of the Pinnacle coming out in traditional trunks, all white, even Tully Blanchard coming out with the all white suit. I like the Inner Circle coming out with all black prison gear with their cities represented on the back.
Very cool.
Just great visual storytelling just from the beginning. And I just felt another negative that I had. This is the first ever Blood and Guts. You have a cage with a roof on it. I don't necessarily think the ending needs to happen on the fucking roof for the first match. It just seems like a little much, and it seems like you're taking away from what's being called this war, and there's no escape. Well, they escaped the first fucking match. So this is not a good tone setter as far as I'm concerned. If this was the second Blood and Guts, I would accept it a little bit more. And I understand the storytelling way that they did this because, MJF kept saying that he's going to knock Jericho off the mountaintop. So to have that visual was cool with the story that they built up in before it. But yeah, those were my negatives. But overall, this delivered on what it promised and was a great match.
I think we're all in agreement with the match. Now we get to the post-match angle where MJF shoves Jericho down after they've already submitted. This thing is over. And he's like, well, I said I was going to do what I was going to do. You guys do what you want, but I said what the fuck was going to happen. Kicks him off, pushes him off, and then he lands onto the McDonald's bouncy balls they have in there. You know why I get so bothered about these things? I'll tell you why. It's the same thing with the explosion. Now, this is not that level, obviously. But it's because the storytelling up until that point has got me so invested that I'm just, if this works, it's going to be the coolest thing ever. And then for it to not work bothers me. I'm going to blame, you know what, fuck it. I'm just going to not blame Tony Khan. I was going to blame whoever Tony Khan's Kevin Dunn is. But fucking, I don't know who that is, so Tony Khan takes the blame. What the fuck? We gotta figure out how we not figure out how to shoot these things? Because they showed a replay that looked decent. I was like, that looks like he died. Why wasn't that the original shot? And then they replayed the original shot. What the fuck are we doing? That shit looked horrific. I was so bothered because I felt like it got everybody over. And the circle got over because they're fucking decent guys. We're gangsters, but we're gangsters with heart. This is our guy. We can have him die. MJF is the worst person ever. I feel like Shivani should have saved this piece of shit for that spot and not earlier in the night. And just even in a circle, even Pinnacle looking kind of like, Jesus, that was kind of over the top. MJF is fantastic, and the spot didn't work. Oh, you idiot saying we wanted Jericho to fucking land on concrete? Obviously not, you fucking cunts. The point is you know how to shoot it better. The fuck are we talking about here? Sorry.
And I just think that the fans didn't articulate that well, where they just expressed outrage and made people feel like, okay, you don't want them to protect them. They got in trouble for Matt Hardy landing on concrete, and now you want the Jericho to land on concrete. Which one is it? So, but I think that you articulated it very well. It's on the production team. It's not on MJF. It's not on Jericho. They did their jobs well, and the fact that Jericho's willing to take a bump from like 20 feet in the air says a lot about him at 50 years old. It's just that the production team let them down by exposing that it was an obvious padded landing.
It's a trampoline. He actually bounced a few feet up. What'd you think?
I went over what I thought. Did I?
You did.
Yeah. I thought the ending, you know, it was a deal breaker. You know, they took away significantly from everything else. It was enjoyable, but it was also a mess. And then you had that ending, and I was just over the show.
Fair enough. MVP? Who do you have for MVP of the show?
Who, me?
Yes. I should probably say names.
MVP of the show, well, since this is really like a one-match show, and, you know, what this match accomplished was going to be like the biggest thing coming out of it, then I have to go with a co-MVP of Sammy Guevara, who was the MVP of the match, but then I have to go with the guy who came out the best out of this match, and that's MJF. MJF looks like the biggest piece of shit in professional wrestling.
Indeed. Cash, MVP.
Darby Allin.
Wow. I love that. That finished.
Let's start.
He did. I'll give him that. I've got to move. If it wasn't for that commercial break, it'd probably be fucking Warlock. I gotta be honest. I've never been more engrossed in a picture-in-picture in my life. I was like, this is the greatest thing ever.
True story.
He looks like such a badass right now. But I'll go with MJF. Just his smile afterwards, him saying thank you. It just all worked for me. LVP, Tony Khan. You guys can wait. Tony Khan. Period. End of discussion. I don't want to hear anything else. Probably should just cut these two off and move on, because it's Tony Khan. That's the only answer we can have. But I'll still ask. Cash, LVP.
Whoever their Kevin Dunn is. Whoever's in charge of camera angles.
Director of camera angles. LVP.
AEW's production team. Yeah, just the decision to do the commercial in Wardlow's big spot. Like I said, I didn't think that it would be commercial free. I knew there would be commercials. And the first half, they really were doing the commercials well. When, you know, the heels had heat on the babyface. That's when you go for commercials. Not when someone's about to come in the match. And even if it's so, like, you could play with the timing a little bit. Like, I know one of the guys came in after 4 minutes, so you didn't have 5 minutes into each interval, so you could have made that one like 6 minutes to make up for it so we could see the Wardlow spot. And then, of course, that final shot of Jericho in the cardboard just killed it. Killed the moment. I don't think it killed the entire show or the match. I think the match bell for bell was great. It was great performances by all the people involved. And this felt like War Games, which they got the company that owns the rights to the name War Games have not accomplished in 4 years. So I give AEW credit for that, but their production team failed them.
Am I being old when I say I preferred like the War Games name? I just like it as a name.
Yeah. I prefer if AEW had the War Games name, because this felt more like War Games than whatever the hell WWE's been giving us for 4 years.
As long as William Regal still is the one announcing it.
I love that. He should bring him in and then have you scared the dog.
It's fine.
Is that it? I think that's it. I'm looking forward to where they go. I'm looking forward to Miro versus Darby. I'm looking forward to a lot. Kind of hoping Go Baker loses his title match so I don't have to watch AEW anymore. But up until then, I will be watching intently every week. So if she comes in, I'm out. Unless Sasha Banks shows up, in which case I'll have to reevaluate. But until then, I guess I'm in. Plug? Can you even see who I'm pointing to, or am I just pointing?
You're pointing at both of us, technically.
I feel like such an old man doesn't understand technology. What button is this? Cap.
I exist. Find me.
Indeed. Plug?
Oh, check out the rest of the stuff right here on the True Hill Heat YouTube channel, and go over and catch these guys' YouTube channel. They're doing great work over there, so a bunch of great content for you to subscribe to with Jimmy Macaram, My Battery is Dying, and True Hill Heat.
Indeed. Post your comments, however, down below. Like, share, subscribe.